Hey everyone, welcome to Gabbing with the G's, and this is Sheila with my brothers Cyrus, Coco, and Kiking, and we are here to talk about dating and courtship. Should be interesting
Well, I
today,
mean, here in
guys.
the US or
Well,
overall, in comparison, how does this work?
I guess, yeah. So, first of all, is there even really a difference between courtship and
Yes,
dating? I'm
sure.
going to pose that question to all of
No,
you
I'm
guys.
definitely not
Okay.
qualified.
Kicking is not qualified.
No,
Why is
no,
Kiking
I'm
not
not qualified because
qualified?
I've never
Yeah,
dated
but
any.
yeah, but you had past relationships before.
Well,
Yeah, but I
okay.
never. There's nothing to compare. All my girlfriends are Filipinas.
Okay, but wait. It's I don't think we should talk about it in a sense of whether or not you have a very monogamous or homogeneous relationship with a Filipino or whatever. It's not about that. It's about like our experiences. So I think I should backtrack a little bit and maybe we should declare our
Yeah,
status,
this is
our
gonna be so.
dating slash marital status. So I'm gonna start. I am married happily for the past 10 years this year.
Wait.
So we will be celebrating our
There we go.
10th year anniversary in May. Woohoo! And I am married to a gringo. And if you don't know what a gringo is, it's an American white male of mixed descent. So, like mixed white, essentially. So that's me. What about you, Sai?
I am married um, to a Puerto Rican woman, and
What do you
yeah,
mean, couple of years? You don't
How
know how
long?
many
King,
years you're married?
a couple of years now.
Good. All right. Look, it's hard. I have to think about it too.
Ikaw, King.
King.
Oh, it's my turn. I thought we were going on in order. Coco,
Okay, fine.
go.
Coco.
Um, I am currently single. Been
I wonder
single
why.
for. Let's not talk about it.
What?
Go. What does this supposed to mean?
Cringe.
Oh my god.
So
All right,
I
so
am,
King.
yes, I am in a relationship and it's going on for, I'm gonna get in trouble if I get this wrong. What, 7 years already? Oh, no. 8 years.
8 years.
8 years.
On so a monogamous, exclusive relationship, right?
Yes. Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Yeah. So none of us have any open relationships or anything like
Nine.
that. We do.
Nine
We
years.
do have
See, I told you, 9 years.
9 years. We do have one single dude here that we can pick on. But anyway, so yeah. Okay, so I did some preliminary research and I thought that there was going to be a real distinction between courtship and dating, but actually it's not.
Nope.
So courtship essentially is just a little part of dating. But in my mind, I think courtship is definitely, for me, dating is when two consensual adults try to get to know each other in a casual setting, and courtship really is a male wooing a female with the intention of making that person their girlfriend or boyfriend, or well, their girlfriend in an exclusive relationship with
Okay.
the intention of marriage. Like that's how I feel it is, right? Like, what do you guys think?
Yes, that's correct.
Is that what you think too?
Yes.
What
For
about
the
you,
most part,
Sai?
yes. I just for me, it's like courtship is the Filipino side of things, and dating is the American side of things.
It's pretty much the
Okay,
same
so
thing.
What do you mean? It's not pretty much the same
what's
thing.
the
No, this,
what do
it's
you
very
think is
different. You wouldn't know. You've never been in the pool, so you would never know what it's like.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, I agree.
right? Well, so
Oh yeah, you.
based on what you said, basically, Sai, you don't think dating exists in the Philippines.
I don't know. I haven't been there in a while.
Right.
Last time I was there, it was 2008 or something, and I was with somebody for a long time too. And before that, I was with somebody for a long time too. So
The serial monogamist.
I haven't really put myself in the pool that really long. But as far as I'm concerned, it's always been that way. Well, there are some stages where you go to a bar and all that, and there's still a hookup culture there at some point, but it's not that much.
Right.
In the US, it's pretty much it's all that.
Right. Right.
Yeah, it's pretty much non-existent here. What courtship is,
Right.
it's almost non-existent. You know,
Yeah,
it's
I
pretty.
mean, yes, that's true. If we go by the definition we said earlier, courtship is definitely non-existent, at least like from what we see outside of our culture or outside the Asian culture or whatever.
For sure. Yeah,
I
Yeah.
think also they think that it's just a waste of time.
What do you mean
what
a waste of
It's
time?
just
is
like
this? You being bitter?
I mean, especially here in the US, right? It's just what's the point in courtship where you can just jump into a start dating and then just decide, you know what, we'll just end it.
Or you
What?
could get married. Like, what's with a what? Okay, first of all, so negative. Like, it doesn't have to end. Obviously, like there is
Oh God,
it
it's like
doesn't even have to go
all the
into
salt is
marriage. But
coming out. Jesus
It's not
Christ.
like salt. It's just like I ask people about it. Like the girls that I date before, when I ask them about courtship, they always just say, "Courtship? Why can't we just date instead of
It freaks
courtship?"
everybody out here.
But
Courtship is like a very, very scary word here, right?
mm,
It's very scary here. From my
I don't even
experience,
think
yeah.
people understand courtship
they
here.
I
do.
think they do. It's just a scary thing because you're dating for finality, you know?
Right, that's true.
And here it's really scary, especially this day and age where it's all about options and it's all about, oh my God. It's
Right.
it's
You should know.
what?
I said you should know.
Why?
I
Because you
have
had
been on,
options.
yeah,
See,
I was dating for a while. And
see. You
yeah,
should
it's,
you should have a belt on this topic.
Yeah, I
what?
know. That's why he brought it up.
I need a what?
A
That's
belt. A
Oh, like a championship
WWF
belt?
belt. Yes.
so yes.
So here's
Wow.
a couple of things that I figured out.
Right.
Okay. So the dating here, if you're talking about dating, right? In the US, it's really bad.
I happen to defer, but okay, go.
Okay. Well, you were like, in the mountains, so it was different.
Ah,
But in the thing, it's all apps and stuff like that.
No.
And basically, the winners. There's a study about this. The winners are like the cream of the crop of men, and the rest are ignored 100%. That's the Look it up. It's a real
It's true.
study. Why?
I'm not
Because most
I'm
of the
not
women,
arguing.
either you're a 5 or you're a 10 or you're a 2, they all go for the same guys.
Yeah.
and what are these guys? What CEO types? That type of
No,
stuff?
they're the triple sixes. You know what the triple sixes?
No.
Okay, so apparently, okay, there's in terms of attraction, girls women look for the triple sixes. 6 foot, 6 figures, and a 6 pack.
Oh my
Ah!
god.
Yeah,
That is the shallowest shit I've ever
I
heard in my
know.
life.
But
No.
if
I
you're
think
really in
so.
the swiping thing, what else can you go after? You don't see anything else aside from what they look like.
Oh, so for apps, you mean?
Nobody dates outside the apps anymore.
Oh my god, that is not
How
true.
is it not?
Where do they go to, like
No.
No,
the
definitely. And
the
I mean,
country function?
no, not the country
Meet and
function, but
greets.
like, say for example, I met my husband at work. Like,
Yeah, that
does that
rarely
not
happens.
happen anymore? Like work,
no.
church, common friends.
Well, okay. As common friends, yes, it's gonna work. The common friend part is gonna work. The church
It's gonna
is
work.
still gonna work, yes, because if you are, if you do put an effort on putting yourself out there in the community, but obviously you're in the church, right? There's a community out of it. So yes, in that certain degree, as long as you put yourself out there and you're willing to, well, first of all, you have to go to
Play.
church.
Right.
That's the number one. First of all, you have to go to church. So the main agenda here is not the women, but go to church. But
I mean, okay, this is gonna sidetrack real quick, but aren't you supposed to go to church to listen?
no,
Well, that's what Kicking is saying. Like, you go to
you
church to
you go to a
listen and
community
all of
too.
that,
You go,
but then
yeah.
you go side eye some chicks.
No, 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 no,
If you
no,
go to
no, no, no,
church,
no.
you'll end up not getting laid for a couple of
No, 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 no,
years.
no. So there are
This is
some church.
true.
Yeah, there's some.
This is
It
true.
will be
Wow,
like,
this is
But
gonna-
apparently, you don't need church to not get laid for a couple of years.
that's true.
So what do you call this? There is,
Sorry, ko.
but there is what do you call this? There is, after church they have this community. It's
Like a singles
I
fellowship.
don't
I
know.
think that's
I
what
would
it's
say kind
called.
of like couples for Christ, singles
something
for
like that,
Christ,
yeah.
something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Okay, that's
traditionally,
that's
there's still what do you call this? The community. I don't know what's the term, but the community side of it, it's still possible. Like friends, the thing here is, are you willing to put yourself out there? Because if I give you, let's say, if I'm going to introduce somebody, and that person's like, oh, you're not my type, you're being picky right there. So how
Oh,
how are you
boy.
gonna get
So,
how are you
Ko,
gonna
are
get
you
somebody?
willing to put yourself out there, Ko?
Shots fired! Pew 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 pew!
So, to all our viewers, my brother Coco is single. He is a very deep and gentle lover. So, any takers?
yes.
Please.
No, he is though. He is though. He really is. I'm not even joking. He's such a catch. Unfortunately, I guess
Circumstances aside,
Yeah, he
circumstances
tends to,
happened. I became single.
yeah. Anyway, so it seems that Sai, your experience with dating, not courtship, because obviously you've done both, right? You've courted somebody
Yeah.
and have been successful. You've courted somebody and have not been successful. Am I correct?
I've
Or
been
have you
all over
always
the
been
spectrum.
successful?
I've always been on a different spectrum because I don't know, from the way I see things, it's this. First off, you got to look at the culture. Are you dating a Filipina? Right?
Right.
For everybody in the Filipinos, possibly the male Filipinos that I talk to, they're like, "Oh, did you date the white woman? What's it like?"
Right.
You know,
Oh, you're such
it's
an
like the
idiot.
freaking American dream if you date a white woman for Filipino guys, which I don't understand. It's definitely very different.
Yeah.
Right.
If did you date a Latina, whatever, something like that. It's a
Right.
whole lot of things. So one is I feel like for the most part with the Filipinos I go to, it's a lot more conservative for sure. It's a very okay. We're exclusive here, we're exclusive there,
Right.
and you know let me and it's a very different field. It's with it's like they almost expect that you're dating to be their girlfriend, or like you're
Well,
courting them to be their girlfriend,
yeah, of
right?
course. Yeah. I mean, that's as
Yeah,
a Filipina, that would be what I would understand it to be like. Why are you hanging
sure.
out with me? Of course, you want me to be your girlfriend, and
Hmm.
it's up to me to say yes or no, right?
Yeah.
Not necessarily the case,
Right. Not in
outside our
dating.
culture. It's
Right.
very much let's have fun. I think you look cute. I think you look cute. Let's hang out for a while, and then. But I want our options open. I feel like when you're dating here outside your culture, it's a lot about options. Honestly,
Bad
you
options? Is that what you
not
said?
options. It's like even if you're dating somebody already, they're always trying to keep a part of them inside and not open up, or like not fully commit because of the idea of somebody else out there better than this person. which
Right.
I think is a very toxic thing.
Right. It is
You
toxic.
know,
It sounds
so
toxic.
especially I don't know. Also, we're somewhat millennials, so we
Right.
experienced that time when we were courting somebody or
Right.
dating
Right.
somebody where you don't really got Tinder wasn't around or whatever was
Right.
out
Yeah.
there.
No,
Who you
no.
chose was who you fuck. Sorry, or family
Right.
show.
No,
Who,
that's
who you
fine.
chose was who you chose. You know,
Right.
versus here, when you're swiping somebody and then one day you get bored and like, oh man, this woman is better, or this woman is hotter, this woman is a better ass, or whatever it is that
Right.
you're looking at. That's how you choose that. At the same time, the guy, the women too, they're like, oh, this is
Yeah.
a better option. So that's always the case, and it kind of muddles up the spot, and you have to like really stand out. And you see this all the time, and when the feelings come in, when you start liking somebody, everybody fucking freaks out. Like they're
Right.
like,
That's
oh
true.
my god, I'm feeling this, and like, oh, and
The
everybody
honeymoon
starts running away.
stage.
They don't want to get snatch up. And this is the regular stuff. If you're with somebody who's like a super religious, obviously that's an extreme case.
Right.
If you're
Right. Right.
somebody with but in general, in the real span of things, that's how it is,
Right. So now,
right?
King, I wanna pose a question to you because you and Bianca are different in a sense that you are both Filipinos, but you met in America. So would you consider what happened between you guys courtship or dating?
They had a very traditional courtship, I think.
No, no, no,
No, I
no.
don't think
Mine
so.
is like people would say, "Oh my god, it's a fairy tale." It's like mine was because originally, like, I'll give you a short story of our relation, how it was with Bianca. I didn't like her. She knows that
What?
too.
Well,
No,
That's a
seriously.
nice way
that's
to
No,
open
blunt,
up a
seriously.
right?
conversation.
No,
Holler!
no, because she knows that too. I didn't like you. Like we were like we were just she had a list of she was new in New York, so I was trying to I was being a nice guy and say, hey, I see your list of tourist attractions that you haven't crossed out. Do you want me to help you? And then yeah, then but again, like I started we started hanging out again just as friends. We started hanging out, and then um
And then you liked her.
yes, and then I liked
Basically, the
her.
classic Filipino story. You like a girl, you try
Yeah,
to
but there
sneak
was
in.
no
Should we be
there was no
friends?
courting
Should we
because
be friends?
okay,
You
let
go
me
put it like
Right.
that.
because
I,
when we
I
say
didn't think there
courting,
was any courting.
yeah, there was no any courting. Like remember, I came to Cyrus and say how do you ask a Manila girl, because she was my first and my she was the only Manila girl I knew that I was courting. So when Cyrus said uh, they don't want to waste time, just say it. So
Right.
then I say it, and there you go. Then
And
it
then
happened.
she said, "Oh, I like you back," right?
Yeah,
Which is very American. That's how Americans do it too. They're like, "Oh, I like you. You like me. Let's,
yeah.
date," right?
Yeah,
Yeah. So,
then
Cole,
we
what
fell in
about
love.
your right? What about your experiences? What like have you gone through the whole dating and courtship
The
like
dating part,
separately?
yes.
Yeah.
Like this was like 10, 5, no, 10 years ago. I
How
don't
do
really
you?
know.
You don't have the apps call, right? You
No.
just you just
Um.
you just go through whoever recommends you
Yes.
somebody.
I just to
Jesus
let
Christ.
every listener know that I'm kind of like old fashioned when it comes to dating.
What do you
Like
mean old fashioned?
I don't really like. I don't
Blanket over it?
like. I would rather pick somebody who would, what do you call this one, reto, or introduce from
Like a
some. Yep.
recommendation or like a blind
Yes.
A
date
hookup.
or like
No,
a
not a
No,
hookup.
hookup.
There
not a
you go.
hookup.
Is it a
So
Like a
hookup?
Well,
connection
yeah,
thing.
yeah, 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 I
so
guess. Like
basically,
Yeah.
okay.
some of my
So
dates before were
recommendations
that.
are welcome, everyone.
Like Cyrus, what Cyrus said was somewhat true. I wouldn't say like as I strongly agree, but like I had dates before that they would ask me what kind of car do I drive.
Oh, for sure. I've
Some would
had it all.
also
Let me
ask
give you a
me
story. This
bluntly,
I had a
this is
date where
not a
a
joke.
woman
They
literally
would
said,
ask me how much my salary is.
"Oh, for sure, that happens all the time." Can you guys hear me? By the way,
Yes.
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah.
continue. Ko.
Like there are some cases where when they introduce a girl to me, and then I would be like, okay, sure, no problem. Like some people would always say like, hey, they're just grabbing a free meal out of you, and then I just usually tell them like, this is how I usually kind of like plan my dates. This is where people really think I am cheap because I always go with a 4 p.m. coffee date.
I'm sorry.
People
Go.
would always be like, wait, a coffee date? Are you cheap? I was like, people would always ask me why. And I usually explain to them like
Money is forever.
if
That's
if I
what you.
really like the conversation with the person, right? That coffee date, they don't know I already have a dinner reservation.
Isn't that a movie? I think it was Sleepless in Seattle where you don't commit to dinner, you only, do coffee and then when
No,
the
because
conversation.
No, it's not that one though, sis. Because the thing here is I I'm echoing. The thing here is that I've experienced so many dates before where how much do you earn? Do you live in the city? What car do you drive? I don't really date guys who don't live in the city.
I can't hear them.
I can't hear you, Ko.
I
You're
can't hear you.
King, you're muted.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, now I can hear you.
Well, where did I cut off?
You've dated
Well,
Filipinas. Not all Filipinas.
no, that's okay because we have it on record, right?
Yeah, we have it on record.
Okay, so you can edit it.
Okay, continue.
So
Okay.
it's not all Filipinas.
Right.
Because the thing here is most of the time there are some Filipinas also that would be like, I don't really date people who don't live in the city. And you know how
Right.
expensive it is to live in the city.
Right.
And then it's kind of like my filter to the women that I really
Pick out all the
want to
gold
date with if they're really
diggers.
committed or something. Because if they like me for who I am or give me a try, a coffee date conversation wouldn't, I don't know, it's just me, right? Wouldn't be that bad. And also I wouldn't really
No,
end with a coffee date.
No,
My personality though,
I
it
can't
would
believe
always
women
go
are like
after
this
dinner.
now.
no, for me,
It's
okay.
terrible.
For me, okay. For me, there's nothing wrong with a coffee date. Like
No,
on
there's nothing
yeah,
wrong with a
on
coffee
a
date.
on a guy's perspective, I'm not sure why am I yelling. On a guy's perspective, I don't understand. A coffee is fine because one, if you don't like the person that the moment she walked in, like, okay, I see this person, you're gonna have the feels saying, I think this is
Is
gonna
she
be.
pretty? Is she
That's
cute?
one, and
So
second
just
two,
want to
no, no,
verify when you say coffee date, is it like the buy one get one coffee from McDonald's at
no,
7 a.m. in the morning?
no.
No,
Are
No.
you kidding me?
no. It's
No,
not
it's
high
like
school.
like a fancy, fancy
Tea
cafe.
house or something.
Yeah. So you just
Right.
have coffee, and if you feel like it's getting loud, then you go out and walk around, and then because a coffee again, you could always exit out. You could always make an excuse. You don't need. If you're in a dinner table and you don't like the person right in front of you, you're stuck there for an hour minimum.
Right. Right.
But if you're in a coffee, it's like, okay, we talk, 15, 20 minutes max. I don't feel this girl. Okay, bye.
Right.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Right. No, and also I can't believe these women really nowadays. It's a protection for you too, more than anybody. It's protection for the woman because if, it's some creepo, you can just kind of exit
Get out.
out
Yeah. Sure.
immediately.
Yeah.
I don't know why these people are like this, but I
Oh,
mean,
for
I
sure.
guess it
Did
is
you
what
see
it
that
is.
that video of the woman who refused to get out of the car because she was brought to the cheesecake
Yeah, I
factory?
saw that. I saw that.
Oh, I didn't
I
see
saw
that.
that. That was
And
like,
you need to, you need to watch all these videos. Did you? There's another woman who went in and ordered 10 dozen for in the first date, 10 dozen oysters. The guy got scared of the bill and left. Stuff
Oh
like that.
my
You hear
god.
all these horror stories that happen,
That's
and they are real.
crazy.
I remember one of my horror stories. I was meeting somebody, and I was told up front, um, I'm just really here for the meal. Yeah,
I'm not surprised.
damn.
I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised.
Wow.
it happens.
So did you treat her to a meal?
I was already there, and then
Thank you.
I was already there, and
Wow.
for me, it was just okay. If this is what you are into, then let's go for a meal. You know what I mean? And let's just have a good time. Let's just hang out. And that if that's what I learned myself after. I will never be rude enough. You know me. I would never be rude enough to say like, oh,
You're a
you're
gold
for the
digger,
streets
you.
or whatever. No, no, I would never do that. So I
Right.
was as polite as I could, and then I did what I know. And then you let your filter up and see, what's there.
Was
Because
she
I think
cute?
also in the grand scheme of things, if you're dating situations, if you put some rat food out, all the rats is gonna be there. It's
Right,
a kind of
right.
the woman that you see too.
I think
You know.
I think the problem too is when it comes to dating. Um, when you go to an app, right? You started. There's certain level of filters.
Hmm.
It's pretty much dating apps right now is pretty much like, oh, it's all filters, so there's no chance your success of getting into a relationship is close to 1% or 5%, because
Mm.
95% of it is already filtered. I want 6 feet tall. If you like, yeah,
Six figures and six pack. The
yeah,
triple
the
six.
triple
That's what we
six.
always say. Well,
Triple six.
quadruple six for
I have
some.
never
But
heard such bullshit in my whole
yeah,
entire
it's
triple
it's
six,
not the
my
same thing.
ass.
It's quadruple six. Yeah.
And then also for other, I mean, I can't really. I'll just share my experience. It feels like you're shopping. Like I
Exactly. Yeah.
downloaded Hinge because I was kind of like, you know what? Everybody was telling me like, dude,
When did
go
you
out there,
download
man.
it?
Try to testify. Try to
Hmm?
go. You'll see a lot of fish in the sea. Like usually that's what they say, right? Like, and I was like, I've always been too stubborn to say like, dude, it's not me. Like in our previous episode, I said right, like I found my
Or
I
you
found
could be
my
very picky.
identity, and then all of a sudden, it's kind of like I don't get me wrong. Like when I see these girls swiping left and right, every time I swipe, it was kind of like, damn, I feel like I'm shopping.
Right.
Okay, for everybody else there who's listening or wherever you are, if you're Filipino and you're wondering what is it like to date here, okay, let me give you a full-on blown at what is it like for a Filipino man, FOB, fresh off the boat, coming here, right? Thinking this is the land of opportunity and you're trying to date. Let me give you a full story of what you're gonna get, right? You're gonna download Hinge or Bumble or whatever it is that you're trying to download, right? And you're gonna swipe all these women like it's Christmas morning, swiping it like crazy, right? And then you will not have anything.
It's true.
Majority of it, that's the case, right?
What do you mean you won't have
For
anything?
90% of people, especially immigrants of brown color, right? Especially
Unless if you're like
Asians, right?
really good
You
looking.
will not get picked. 100%, right?
You will
Especially for
not
men.
get picked?
Yes, there's a study out there, sis. This is a blind study, which is 100% true. They ranked everybody on ethnic background. This is one. This is the ethnic side, right? Asians are the top of the ladies category.
Like Asians, like we're talking East Asians,
No,
Koreans,
any Asian,
Japanese.
Oh,
Thai, Filipino,
Oh,
whatever.
okay.
If you're Asian, you're in the
Okay.
top of the list. You're the
Okay.
most desirable.
Then why won't
Um,
you get anyone?
if you're an Asian woman, if you're on the woman side, right?
Oh.
The bottom of this,
Holler.
yeah. At the bottom of this is the African American persuasion.
Yeah, okay.
On the men's side, the top is of course, the Caucasian white man,
Oh my
Joe.
God.
And then at the bottom, are Asian men, right?
I
So if
find that
you're
fucking hard to
thinking
believe.
this is
Okay.
very, very true, sis, you gotta look at this. You've been out of the game for a long time, and I believe this factor, right? I believe this factor because it is a study on the swiping apps
Yeah.
Right.
that you can't lie, you can't be
Right. Right. Right.
politically
Right.
correct and
Right.
say and that's 100% true. And they only date the top, all women go after the same top quality guys. That leaves most of the guys invisible, right?
Okay.
And as a result, all these incel, I wouldn't say this, okay, I'm a thing, all these incel podcasters like um, Andrew Tate and all that come out of the woodworks because they're trying to milk money out of this incel saying, oh, this woman, it's their fault, whatever.
Right.
That's happening right now. I don't know if you're into that
Right.
kind of stuff. There's a big hatred toward that because
I
all
think
the
you
women
mean red pill
guys,
community.
are just like,
Right.
okay, I can just change guys, woman every single time, not committing. And then the women are like, oh my God, dating is horrible. But because they're all Eskimo sisters, they're all going after the
Right.
same hot
Right.
dude who has a penthouse
Oh my God,
in
that's
Fifth Avenue.
terrible. Eskimo sisters.
Yeah.
Right. You know what Eskimo sisters are or brothers?
No.
Do you know what that means?
No.
That means you sleep with the same
explain it.
person.
Yeah. And
But
you
I
slept with
already
the
know.
same.
No.
So, yes. So, like, say, for example, if I am Eskimo sisters with whoever slept with my husband before.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what an Eskimo sister
So basically,
is.
especially in the city, they're all
Right.
Eskimo sisters. I don't care if you're a 5 or
Oh,
4 or whatever.
God, that's
As
awful.
guys, because most guys, this high up. That's
I
just
do feel ancient listening to you guys. This is
they call it this.
wow.
There's a science to this, and I have studied this for a while. So it's called your SMV, or your sexual marketplace value, right?
Right. Market value.
So even if you are a 2, right? If a guy is a 10 or something like that, right? He doesn't really care. He'll still screw you if you're a 2 or a 10. Because it's still the same thing,
Right.
right? But a woman that's a 10 will never sleep with a 1.
Yeah.
Right.
So there's a hyper imbalance of things, and everybody just says it sucks.
But we have to contextualize this though. This is in the context of obviously app dating or
Yeah.
like virtual dating and stuff like that. Definitely I believe doesn't happen in
Correct. But again, I tell myself, if you're going to the sewers, you're gonna get rats,
right.
right?
Right.
If you want to go if you want to go somewhere legit and you meet somebody in a real organic way, the odds are you might not find
Right.
But
rats.
your
You might get
okay.
quality women
But
that you would
your odds are
still
going to be
talk to.
better.
With what?
But if you're going to the old way, the should I use the word
The
traditional?
traditional way. Yeah, I
Okay,
guess.
yeah.
Okay, so now I think this is a good transition point, right?
Okay.
By the way, before I transition, I think you only are lacking one of the 6s. Yeah? You have the 6 feet, you have the 6 figures, but you don't have a 6
Oh, did
pack.
you cross the
You
six
better be
figure?
going to the gym. What?
Yeah. By the way, in the Filipino culture, we don't really. Did you cross the 6 figure already, Ko?
No comment.
Ay!
You bet your ass he did.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, you just got to go to the gym. And then maybe you can play at Tinder.
I'm not. No.
I don't know.
The only thing, I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't say I tried it because I never actually went on a date on a dating app. I just installed it, but it
Why
just
I think
feels
for the
really
heck of it,
weird.
try it out.
Like
You know
the
what I mean?
fact that
Never
you're
know.
swiping women left and right, knowing
It does
like
feel weird.
I don't really know the stats on what's your percentage, right? I
would.
put all of them there.
No,
The thing here
Cole,
is for me, the fact that I'm swiping the same. I swipe at a girl that I like, right? Knowing the fact that there's 20,000 men who also swipe left.
Swipe
doesn't
right.
feel
right.
Like for me, it's kind of like
It's cringe.
cringe.
I think there's also something to be said about like a good introduction, like, oh,
Yeah.
I'm gonna set you up with my cousin. She does this.
The,
She is
the, the
a
problem
nurse.
the,
She's a
It's not
this.
guaranteed though. Even if you're like recommended or reto with somebody,
the
I
pro-
could still
because the
the
problem
shit.
here is you already have, because you all your that person's expectation will always be high too.
Right.
So at the same time, it's like before you shop for a 10, make sure you're a 10 too. That's
I
the
guess in
thing,
a
because the
sense.
problem here is like, hey, you said, hey, my friend is single. Like, do you know anybody? I said, sure. The moment I introduce that person's like, oh, he's not my type. Why? Because he's not good looking enough for you. Doesn't make six figures or too short. There we go. Oh,
It's
he's too
always too
short.
short.
I'm
And
sorry.
we're very lucky that we are very tall people.
Thank
But I
you.
really feel bad for the short kings out there.
You have
You
me
know,
to thank for that because I
correct.
gave you each 1 inch.
Yes. Apparently, it's really bad out there for
Yeah.
short people.
I know
You
it's
know.
bad out there for short people, but anyway. So the transition is the next question would
Okay,
be,
what's the transition?
what would you prefer? I guess would you prefer courtship or dating?
I would prefer. Okay, I think I already jumped the gun, so I would answer this question. I would prefer courtship. Any time, any day.
Even though you're like subject to. So my problem with courtship is that it is very
Long.
one-sided. No,
It's
not
no.
even the length. It's very one-sided, and I don't
Thank
know.
you, sis. I know you're saying this because you have seen my struggles.
No, it's well. Apart from I have seen your struggles and other Filipino men's struggles, I can't do courtship. Like, because I am very straight arrow. If I like you, you will know. And if I don't like you, you will know.
You
You know
need
what I mean? And so I
Yeah.
can't play this stupid game of, play hard to get and all of this nonsense. I can't fucking do that. Like, I've never done that in my life. And so that's the primary thing that I find
Yeah.
very tedious about courtship.
because
It's very one-sided. It's a male to female transaction where the male will do everything that they can, give gifts, this and that, go to their house every single day, visit every single day, only for this female to be like, like feign whatever. And
feign
it's
ignorance.
Yeah.
basically it's almost like a translation of what is going on in the apps right now,
Correct.
except right,
But
like
but
it's
but the thing
so
here is okay.
ridiculous.
But the thing here is you need to look. I have a record of being dumped 10 times. You need to learn how to cut your losses too.
27, baby.
Oh
Oh
wow.
my god. You were dumped 27 times or you were
No, I've
rejected
been
20?
rejected 27
Oh,
times.
Oh my
dump.
I had a lot of
god.
practice.
First of all, how do you even like 27 women? I think I've liked like 5 men in my life.
I don't know. Some of it were the same woman, so I guess I count fine.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Isn't that
What?
crazy? Like to be
Again.
rejected,
Okay.
20 times by the same woman? What the
Exactly my
fuck?
point. Exactly
No,
my point.
because here,
Learn to cut your losses. If the girl says no, if she
hard
doesn't
sometimes.
give
I think
you the if you would see it yourself. If she's not interested, bye.
Right.
no. I think when you do, I think courtship permeates. Let me just say this: courtship permeates kind of like you, um, like begging somebody to, you know,
Right.
in some ways to like you back. You know what I mean? And it's very, old school, idealistic kind of way that I will fight for you until you like me back or whatever. And it happens to a lot of people.
Right.
So you
Right.
get dumped 27 times.
Oh,
I agree
you
to
know
disagree.
or and now I realize, now that I'm here, it's a lose-lose situation, because if they end up, like giving in because of your persistence, and they don't really like you that much, it's not going to turn out to be a really good relationship,
yes. I
Oh,
right?
agree.
you were raising your hand. What's your
100%.
opinion?
I think, how do I say this one? I think it's much. I would prefer dating compared
But
to
in an
Mm-hmm.
courtship.
organic way.
That one also, but there's supposed to be a agreement that if you guys are dating, it's just both of you, and then once, let's just say the girl or the guy decides like, hey, I don't really like you that much, or you're not really that interesting, move on. Because
Oh,
the
but you can't do that. That's not the rules of dating, though, Paul.
No,
You can't.
you,
You can't
Can't
go
make
and
this.
say
You
you
can't make
can't
stuff
do
up.
that. You
you
can't.
can't you
Once you're
say
exclusive, that's a relationship.
can't you say
When you're
Correct.
dating,
I see.
you're
then I'll go
looking
with
at
courtship
other
then.
people. Oh God, why do you
Let,
not like
let me let
challenge?
me let me show
Uh,
my hands. See?
nope.
No, the
That's
thing.
why I think I am already, even before, obviously I'm out of the market now, but I after a while I would have not been eligible for Filipino women because I told myself I'll never court again.
Wait, what?
I would never court again after
After being rejected 27 times,
no. After my last Filipino relationship, I told myself I'm not gonna do that anymore.
right? Well,
Hmm.
that's. I think that's more like. So obviously this is a hypothetical question because you're
Yeah,
off the market, right? but
yeah.
but had you after her met another Filipina that you really really liked and you would have thought worthy, you still wouldn't have pursued?
No. It's just it breeds a lot of things. It breeds a lot of entitlement.
Right.
It breeds a lot of it breeds a lot of things. I don't think it's a healthy situation. I don't think what's going on now here in the US is also a healthy situation. I've heard everybody talk about it, but it's
Basically
you
there's
know
no healthy dating
it's hard.
situation.
And also, right, I'll jump in real quick. Some part of me also agrees that one with Cyrus, but because I've dated different nationalities,
Mhm.
there's always been this expectations for a Filipino guy dating a Filipino woman.
Yeah,
Me
it's
dating
also problematic.
other nationalities,
Very true.
um, they tell you straight up. They tell you like they don't like you. This one,
I'm
yada
not
yada
interested.
yada. I'm not really
Yeah, they
interested.
don't they don't they don't play with your
No, they
emotions like
don't.
that.
They
They
don't.
don't they don't tell you, "Oh, okay, manligaw ka lang," or something like
Right,
that.
right,
Where
right,
you just, we'll see what happens. But they're not really into you that much. You know,
right,
non-Filipino women tell you straight up, "I like you, I don't like you." It's easier. You don't have to play mind games and shit. You
right,
know,
That's
right.
true.
you don't
Yeah,
have to
that's the
convince
number
her.
one thing I can't stand with
I can
courtship is
taste
the
the
mind
salt.
games. I can't. No, honestly though, I mean, I'm even a woman, and I can't stand the mind games. I can't. It's awful. It's awful for everyone, for
Yeah, it is.
both parties. It's
Now
awful.
looking back, it's also quite humiliating, and it kind of like eats
Yes.
out your ego. You know, that's why for the most part, I'll be honest with you, I haven't really think the Filipinos that come here have their I guess their egos are low, or like their self-esteem is low, because it's already eaten by that courtship process.
Right.
They've already been reduced to, like, oh, you're just gonna serve me. You know what I mean? What I always heard all that time, right, was that, oh, because you're the man, you're supposed to do that. You know what I mean?
Right. 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 Right.
And
Like that's what I'm
then
saying. It's like such a one-way transaction. You know what I
correct. And
mean?
then
Like
now when you realize that you're here, like, it's not always that
I
way.
think also, right? Dating for men also changed. It hasn't changed. Like how modern and how, what do you call this one? How our environment has changed in dating. I think there's also need to be an update on how men's expectations should be.
what do you mean?
Like I just listened to podcasts, okay? Like some,
Andrew Tate.
no, Dr. K. So apparently there's been a very big epidemic of men loneliness.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, that's also a thing. Because again, 90. This is the time in this day and age that more men are virgins than women.
Sorry.
That's true, 100%. They don't cut it anymore. More women are in the workforce. More women are
Right.
successful and in school. You know what I mean? And you
Right.
never, you never. Let me ask you, sis. Right?
Right.
If you were in the market, right? How important would you date a guy who serves you at Burger King?
I mean,
Be
no.
honest.
No.
Okay.
Right. I
Men do.
mean,
Men would.
Men
No
date
matter how
down.
right.
successful a man would, if that woman is hot, he'll try to date her. Doesn't matter,
That's
because
true.
especially for, so this is the problem. Women value, and
Not
this is
all women.
natural. They
Let's
value
just be
like
straight there.
this,
There's
the power. Correct me if I'm wrong, sis. Huh?
I mean, don't get me wrong. I might sleep with him, but
Correct. It's not the same. Correct. You wouldn't see him as a marriage
no,
potential.
no, no, no.
Okay. So is it true to say that for women they value the ability to provide and protect more than anything else, more than
No,
looks?
no, no. That's no, that is not true.
Okay. Tell me
Because
what you think.
the thing about it though is that, like you said, women, a lot of women are in the workforce.
Mm-hmm.
I think women in general are earning,
More
if
than men.
not at par, slightly more than men. So it's very important for women, especially if they want to have a family in the future, to have, it's not even so much like, oh, can you provide, do you have a job or something, but it really is more like a partnership where, so like, obviously I'm a professional, so I work around professional areas, and there are women doctors, women veterinarians, women dentists and stuff like that, and their husbands are also working and also like professionals, but obviously earn considerably less. Like they could be electricians, or like, I mean, don't get me wrong, electricians are getting paid like
I was
big
about to
They
say.
bucks.
demand.
You know what I mean? But they also, so it's very important that, I think for women right now, that a man is able to
Contribute.
take their share of household responsibilities
Yeah.
and basically be a partner in life, and not just
Be of
someone,
value.
right, be of value in a sense like, are you flexible enough to be able to take care of the kids in the morning when you work night shifts
Correct.
at night as an electrician? Like, it's not, but like that's what, so taking your example of the Burger King guy, the Burger King guy in your mind is somebody who doesn't have the drive to like get a better job. You know what I mean? Like, there's just some
Yeah.
implications regarding Mr. Burger King guy at 25, let's say. Right? I mean, the Burger King guy at 16 or 18 is different than Burger King guy at
Correct.
28,
At
right?
30. Yeah.
So you already know like the buck stops there for that person.
Correct.
So that's
No,
why
it
that's
also,
never going to work. But that's why I'm saying this whole six-figure whatever is ridiculous. And I think the women, the Eskimo sisters that you're talking about, are mostly, the clubbing,
yeah.
millennials and stuff like that. Because in reality, I think women are so sick of the whole masculinity situation where they just want someone who can partner. They just want someone who knows how to hold a baby as well. You know what I mean?
Sure. Yeah. I understand
And stuff
completely.
like that. Yeah. So I mean, that's real life. At least that's like, in the areas where I revolve.
Can I
And
also
like,
add
Where
in
I'm saying that
that
is,
situation?
with that
It's not
situation.
just that one, right? Because I also spoke to my single girlfriends, and then they always have this issue like, why are men not built like the old days? And then I usually tell them like, before there was always, I always tell them like, you need to count also how men develop their maturity. Like, nowadays, because of all these dating apps, they can just easily replace the guy instead of teaching the guy to do it. Especially for
or
a
like
Correct. Yeah.
training. Yeah. Yeah.
especially
Yeah.
for especially for like, let's just say it's your first, second girlfriend, right?
Yeah.
Expectations of people are, oh, you're gonna be the one, you have to be rich, six figures, this one and that one. They don't count also the emotional maturity, man, how he's handling pressure, this one and that one. You don't get that one in an instant. You build
Right.
that one
But
with your
then
partner.
you have to remember that's what apps are made of. Apps are made of instant connections. You know what I mean? Like, and it's up to two people to nurture that connection, right? Like,
Correct.
for the most part, you probably are gonna sleep with that person first and then figure out. You know what I mean?
Okay,
Like that's
for the
how
record,
apps
if you
work.
get a cup, if you get matched,
If you get much.
if you get matched. But
If
Coco
you get
has a
matched.
point too.
I've never
Guys,
seen
okay.
or used an app, by the way. Just like
Guys,
for full disclosure, I have never
You never use
downloaded.
it?
I have never downloaded it. I have never seen an interface. I don't know how to. I mean, this is obviously I'm aging myself, but this is
Oh
way
my
outside.
God.
I've
He
never,
says, like,
and I hope to God I don't ever have to.
okay, Coco has a point. Men, okay, we don't we're not pre-installed with the stuff that we
Well, you most especially are
it's true. But
pre-installed. Yeah, Bianca had to train you.
yeah. But then again, Coco has a point too. Bianca was patient enough to explain to me everything if I make mistakes. The problem here is when some women, the moment you make a mistake, I'm washing my hands, I'm dropping the mic, I'm leaving. Bye.
And then
Because
also
because the
for
list
the
of
record,
options are
we're
always there. The the illusion of options is there, right?
Illusion, yeah, that is true.
Again, this is the illusion of options, because for the most part, they, let's just say, King, that woman would drop you, right?
Yeah.
Let's just say you were dating somebody, that woman would drop you, right? Because he has, they call it rosters. She has a
So bad.
roster of other guys that she sees, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then, because those guys sleep with her, she feels some sort of validation, even if they're not really intending to be with her
can I ha-
in serious sense,
Okay, cool.
right?
Right.
it
So
depends
it's
on
an
how.
illusion
Look,
of choice.
here's a question, right? Can you just filter that out? Like,
Filter what
if
out?
you've
What?
been dating for multiple times and then you always hit like the first, second date, right? You kind of like sense it already, no? Like, oh, this girl has like a roster or something.
Oh, for sure,
Because of,
So again, as a man, or for everybody, I think this is a good way to, for me, as somebody who was I've come to a point that I was a serial dater towards that time. You just got to know what you want.
Right.
If you want somebody who is a serious somebody, you know then you go through different paths, right? You might not get the 10 that you like, you know what I mean? You might not get like the American dream fantasy that you have as a Filipino, to like, oh, try every flavor of the ice cream, 13 flavors, Baskin Robbins stuff, but you get somebody that you're going to be with.
Right. Right.
Because if you go to the apps, it's going to be brutal. I 100% tell you, it's going to eat up on your self-esteem. 100%.
Oh,
That's what I took a lot of that too. It was like very, it ate up my self-esteem a bit, because you're kind of feel like, oh, am I like ugly or something like that? Like, you know.
your 27 rejections didn't eat up your self-esteem.
For sure. Like I was 27. So, Cole, what's your plan? How does this go?
As a single guy,
As a single guy, what's your plan?
how
Are you just gonna wait?
how would you date?
So, okay, I guess let's make this the question specific. What is your ideal situation for you to
Yeah.
be able to land a woman that you can spend the rest of your life with, or a good
Or
chunk
do
of
you
your
even
life
want
with?
that?
to be honest with you, I
Yeah.
mean, everybody's going to probably listen to this. I'm happy
No.
if it
That's
doesn't
three
happen.
people listening sometimes, and it's just us.
No,
Mom
no,
is
no,
gonna
don't.
listen to it.
Oh yeah, mommy, happy birthday!
Happy birthday,
Mama!
Mama!
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday!
Happy birthday.
But listen,
Like, here's the
today
thing, right?
is
If it happens, it happens. If not, I'm happy. Like,
I know. So my question, Ko, is if it happens, how would you like it to happen? That's my question. Like, obviously, if it
somebody
happens, it
would
happens.
introduce it. I wouldn't date. I wouldn't go online dating.
You,
You won't go looking for it.
Like, here's the thing. Like I said, if it happens, I'm not gonna look for it.
so he's pretty much like, if I get struck by lightning, it happens. I got struck by lightning.
That works.
Well, as your older brother, I'll just say this: you gotta go and look for something. You know what I mean?
That's
Try at least put some fillers out there. You know, from since we were kids, every single relationship you've ever had was either recommended to you, introduced to you, your classmate. There was no freaking
no,
effort on every single one of those. You know, you got to go and maybe try to meet
no. I
someone. You know
tried.
what I mean?
I tried. I tried. I really did try. The
I'm
thing
gonna be the devil's advocate. Go enjoy your single life.
I don't
Being
even
not
date anymore. I
single,
just enjoy being
being
single.
being not single is the best thing that could happen to you,
Shizzo.
and you will be ready for the next relationship when it
I honestly
comes
believe that too.
if you know how to be single. Trust me.
For
I
me,
was not single for a really long time, and I was then single and did not intend to date, and it's just, and I can honestly say that, and this is not to say that, obviously I'm very happy with my marriage and stuff like that, but I can be single. Like, I'm 100% confident that I can be single and be happy. And I think that's really important.
because for me, right, if I don't get a girlfriend or if I end up being alone, I'll be fine with it. I
Right.
mean, I
When you have a
wouldn't
lot
be
of friends,
really
you
be
don't have
worried
a talk
about
or anything
money
like that.
because I didn't really spend so much on dates.
God, this is always about money for Coco. Sai, what were you gonna
Like
say?
it's not just
I
that
was
one,
gonna
right?
say,
Like for
Okay,
no,
time,
there's no
let
it's not
rush.
Cyrus
just
say
that
Again, I'm
one.
gonna
something.
say there's no rush. We don't have a biological clock or
Right,
anything like that, right?
right.
And especially with you, we're vampire blood. We don't. As we grow older, maybe if you take care of yourself,
God,
you'll get better. Be a silver fox or
speaking
something
of
like that. But you gotta put yourself out there, dude.
right.
Okay, okay. All I can say in my end, as cliche as it can be, before jumping into a relationship, learn to love yourself. Because honestly, right? eh,
That's true.
All when I say learn to love yourself, you know, do hobbies, take care of yourself, build, do more, improve yourself.
I don't think Coco has any problems with that except for going to the gym. I think he has enough hobbies. He has friends. Like, he doesn't have that issue.
But the
But
point here is, love yourself. At the
right.
same time, too, your standards, don't put it way too high. I'm not saying him, but
So
I'm
this
I'm
is
I'm,
like,
I'm speaking in general. It's like the problem here with the people that I know that who are looking for a relationship. My God, their standards is way freaking high.
well, so first of all, there shouldn't be a standard, right? Like, there should not be a standard. I don't know. Like, for me, I've always gone by feel. I've always gone
Yeah.
by feel. Obviously, I'm not going to lie and say I find certain people attractive. It is not about race. Like, there's just a certain, like, look that you find attractive. And if you don't find someone attractive, that's perfectly acceptable as well. But there shouldn't be a standard. There shouldn't be a list where, like, oh, 6 foot, six pack, six figures. Like, there shouldn't be, like, you know what I mean? It should be a feeling that you have when you converse with a person and say, hey, I connect with this person in an organic way. And this could be someone that I can enjoy living my life with or spending time with, even at the least.
That's
That
true.
should be what it should be. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? It shouldn't be some sort of standards, Coco. Like, just fucking meet people and see how you feel about them. Like, give
Correct.
everyone a chance, you
Correct.
know?
And it doesn't have to be somebody recommended by somebody.
Right.
Because I've noticed this ever since Coco was a kid, or when we were kids, it was
That's
always
true.
like, oh, either his classmate, so he can see it every day, either it's somebody recommended to him, somebody who he works with. Sometimes when you see somebody on the street, you gotta say like,
How you doing?
Right. Right.
"How
I
you
mean, that's where
doing?"
great movies are made, when you can
You
meet
know?
a complete stranger. Hopefully, they're not psycho, but,
Yeah.
Right. Anyway.
Sure.
Okay. Next segment.
I think that's it, right?
That's it.
That's it.
Right.
Yeah, I think that was really good.
We have to do an ending though.
Okay.
We have to do it.
Can
Anyway.
somebody end? Because I already started.
So I guess that's it.
We are ending on that note. And do you guys have anything going on? What are you guys
I'm
up
moving to Pennsylvania,
nowadays?
probably.
Probably, or is this real or no?
Probably. This is going to be on the talk, so hopefully, crossing my fingers.
Nah. Are you even allowed to
Same.
say that online?
No, I'm just going to mute this out.
Oh no. Like, oh, okay, all right. Well, okay. So that's it for this episode of Gabbing with the G's. Thank you so much for being here with us tonight and joining us in our discussion about dating and courtship in this day and age. Apparently, things have changed since I was last on the market. But anyway, we will see you in our next video or our next podcast. Thank you, guys.
See
Bye.
ya. Bye, Mumsers!
Bye.